I want to teach you how to use the Grindstone Golem properly. The Grindstone Golem can be summoned once you have iron harvested and unlocked. All you need to do is make a gather iron improvement. It's only 10 prismarine, super cheap, 450 stone, 200 wood. When you slap this bad boy down, it's going to cost you 10 iron, 30 lapis, super duper cheap. You can also spawn these with the first of diorite, but that's more of an in-game unit, so it's kind of a hassle to do. But these bad boys here, they only cost 5 iron each and 5 lapis, and they only take up 1 supply. So the best way to use these that I have found in the current patch, because their AI is a little silly, is to just have them follow you and they will passively attack everything that you bypass. Let me show you how they act when you actually order them to fight something. So, we're going to fight some piglins here. And if I send one off to fight the piglin, the way it works is he's going to run up to it, he's going to get close to it, and then he's going to roll into it, stunning it. So he only got 1 there. And now he's going to roll around and attack and fight the other ones, and just kind of roll around swinging his fists. And it's going to stun the piglins, and by the time... he attacks faster than the stun wears off, so he is able to solo all of them. And these things are pretty good for that, but there's a way more efficient way to use it. And the way more efficient way is to have around 3 to 4 of these with you following you around. Right now I have 6 on me. I'll grab these. That's 7. And the best way is, these things are highly aggressive, so their AI is pretty smart. When you are near enemy units, and these things are great, like in PvP, whenever an enemy sends his army towards you or to try to snipe you, these things will absolutely save your butt and kill their army. So, I'll show you the real way to do it. We got some piglins approaching the base here, and yeah, they're gonna get killed by the towers, but you just run at them, and look, they will I'm not even telling them to attack anything. They will just roll into stuff just by themselves, and they hit way more targets than if you order them to attack a specific target. That kills groups so much faster. These things are little AoE cleave monsters. But they actually don't deal that much damage to structures. They actually deal the least amount of damage to structures. Even less than a plank golem, believe it or not. But just having a few of these around means that an enemy's army can't melee you. Also, these things, I don't know if it's true or not, but they seem to deal bonus damage to skeleton archers. This is the hard counter to skeleton archers. So I'm just gonna roll it. Okay, and they really hurt me because of how long the game's been going. But look, they just absolutely destroyed the skeleton archers. They're dead. They're already dead. They've been 1 or 2 shotted. Now I want to explain that as the longer a game is going, the more damage that mobs will deal. This is called damage escalation, and it is a game. It's in the game so that you can't stagnate it. Essentially, if a game lasts too long and someone's turtling up with a million towers, then the opponent can just walk all over them with offensive units and kill everything in a few hits. But even without damage escalation, these units, the Grindstone Golems, they deal increased damage, I feel like, I don't know for sure, to skeleton archers. I haven't combed through the game or anything, but they deal ridiculous amount of damage to skeleton archers. They absolutely counter plank golems. If the enemy is sending wave after wave of skeletons at your team, just send these bad boys in, and, you know, obviously, in this case, I can't run up to them because I will get 2-shotted, but they bully skeletons. They are the skeleton, they are the hard counter to skeletons. Now, these golems, the Grindstone Golems themselves, they are not the tankiest of units. They still get killed by towers. So don't ever send these to kill buildings. They are not good at it. They deal very little damage. Like, I'm gonna attack the main enemy building here with one, and like, even with damage escalation, they do nothing. Look, it's already healed. Well, it's doing like a fraction of 1 damage. Not even. Also, these things aren't really good at killing enemy players. If you're fighting enemy commanders, they are really awful at it. But there is one thing that makes these things super duper good, and that is guarding your turret nests. So for those that don't know what oh, that's a kamikaze piglin, and he got rolled over. Okay, but a turret nest is something like this. You build some turrets, right? And normally what players would do is they will build freeze traps in front. Also, this is the Piglet version. He's rolling up here, which my little guy here isn't really going to be able to beat, but he sure is trying. Anyway, so what happens with a turret nest? You know, you build some walls in front, you build the towers behind it, you get these little freeze traps, and then what the enemy will do is they will mass cobblestone golems and charge them into your turrets. Which, this piglin is kind of ruining the example, but you understand, like, you've seen this in multiplayer matches, I assume. And so what happens is you have, like, 20 little cobblestone golems smashing at your walls and your towers, and then you end up losing them. It's a real struggle. But if you bring some of these grindstone golems with you, what happens is when all of their cobblestone golems slam into your nest, the grindstone golems just knock them out and stun them and knock them away and kill them. Because they roll around and stun everything. So the the cobblestone golems can't kill your buildings if they're stunned the entire time. And just having 3 or 4 will stun a group of 30 to 40 golems. It is a hard counter to the cobblestone golems in that regard for defending a turret nest or even your base. I mean, I really wouldn't react to a base assault by building those, but like, you know what happened? You've seen this in a lot of games. Is you'll be in a match, and then suddenly some guy runs in with 40 golems straight to your base, and then he just starts making them attack. And then you're sitting here slashing the golems and barely hurting them, and you stun them for half a second, they continue attacking your building, and then you lose. Well, if you have the golems nearby, the golems will just roll all over everything, stunning everything, and because they're stunned, they can't kill your base anymore, which frees up a lot of time. So just always have some on hand. They're handy to have, they're cheap, they cost iron. You don't really use iron for much. You use iron for, what, protection towers? And maybe a few other things, but that's it. You don't really spend iron on many things, so spend it on the grindstone golems, because they're absolutely worth it. They will save your turret nests, they will save your base, and they counter one of the most used units in actual skilled game lobbies, the skeleton archer. Also, if you happen to be harassed while you're trying to, you know, go out and farm prismarine, bring some with you, and if someone tries to rush you down with plank golems, your grindstone golems will grind their plank golems into dust. But other than that, they're not really used for much else. When you reach in-game, you'll just be using firsts anyway, or just archer spam with walls. Like, they can't break down walls, so archers behind walls will still kill them, but they're really useful in so many ways. Just have them follow you. Don't even tell them to attack anything. Just use your command menu. You can go to melee mobs if you really need to send them out, but, like, say you have some plank golems and some cobblestone golems and you're attacking a piglin base, simply select your cobblestone golems, tell them to attack, and that way it doesn't send the grindstones out. And then you can switch to your plank golems, tell them to attack the enemy commander, and then just run at the enemy commander with your grindstone golems. That's how to play. That's how to play and how to use the grindstone golems properly for maximum efficiency. Hope you learned something today. I'm Swole Benji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps out. I read every comment. If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask. I read every comment because I have no life, even though I have 5,000 subscribers probably by the time you watch this. Anyway, with that said, there's a video on the right side of your screen. You should absolutely click that video. It's right over there. It's on the right side. Click it right now. And if you do, then you'll get hugged by a cute girl you like.